All right, thanks, Nicola. Personal Canadian debt levels still on the rise, but do you know when you've hit your debt limit? Some expert advice here. Ryan Mather and Cindy Leich from Ontario Debt Advisors are here to talk about how far creditors can go and when to look at other options. And good morning. Thanks for joining us. Ryan, we were just talking during the commercial break. Of course, we just had the tax deadline last night.
Correct.
Here's an interesting factoid you were mentioning.
A lot of people don't know, but your income tax and HST debt, if you're a small business, can actually be reduced by a lot of government programs that we have available. If you try to do that on your own, they're not going to negotiate with you.
Right.
They don't have to.
Yeah.
However, you can seek protection from that. And a lot of people don't know that.
Okay. Cindy, rule of thumb, just in terms of as Ontario Debt Advisors, the people that you're dealing with, when do they come to you? Is there any rule of thumb there, the flags that go up?
The number one flag is when they're robbing from Peter to pay Paul. At the end of the month, there's barely enough money to have for groceries. They are making their mortgage payments, they're making their car payments, but it's those day-to-day living expenses. A lot of times they're reverting to payday loans.
Right.
That's a bad cycle to
Yeah,
get
if you're
into.
going to high interest sources like that just to get by.
Yeah, then they're having to. So if you, one payday loan, well, usually they get into another one, and then another one.
Of course, that's just a vicious
it is a vicious cycle,
rut
and
that
they
you
will
get
never.
into.
Yeah,
And then they wind up at your desk.
exactly.
Right. Yes. But there are several options and tools that you can use. And government programs, as you mentioned.
Yep.
Yeah.
We work with, there's federal government programs that exist. There are things like informal proposals, of course, but very, very rarely do we deal with bankruptcies. But specifically, consumer proposals are something that a lot of people are choosing to go
Because
with.
again, you're debt advisors.
Correct. Our job is to give you that unbiased opinion on what your options are. If you choose to work with us, we're able to help you out, and we put the steps in place to make it happen.
When bills do go to collections, also there's safeguards in place as well that you can advise, because once it goes to you, there's some protection there.
That's correct, yeah. So if people are coming to us and we are dealing with that debt, once we put a program in place, they are protected. So there is actually a stay put on any potential wage garnishment, anything as far as a lien on your home or a lien on your vehicle. You can breathe a little bit easier, but it's deciding to make that call and to ask for the help.
Right. Yeah. So what can you do just in terms of stop? Is there any statute of limitations, and is there anything you can do to stop if there are if this action does continue? What
Well,
tools
there
do
is
you
a
have?
statute of limitations. It's 2 years for any legal action, and that's 2 years from the time a last payment was made. So yes, there is that statute, but they still owe the money. I mean, at the end of the day, they owe the money.
Yeah.
So just because they're not going to be sued or their wages aren't going to be garnished doesn't mean they don't owe the money.
But these consumer proposals that you mentioned, this seems to be a popular option on both sides of the equation.
They are. They're very popular.
Yeah.
And it's a solution. It's an affordable solution, and it's something that they can move forward with their life. They don't have to. The stress from their debt allows them to have a life that they can enjoy rather than worrying about how to pay their bills.
So getting into the nitty-gritty, so how does it work, and do you look at the budget and you make it so it's a manageable situation financially for them while still appeasing creditors?
Correct. I don't believe in putting people in programs that they can't afford. That doesn't solve anything.
Yeah.
So put them in a program that they can afford. So we look at their options. If they have equity in their home, maybe that's they would use that equity by working with a mortgage broker. So a lot of times maybe the government program isn't their best solution for their situation.
Right, but on the upside, again, you have a full arsenal of tools, and you can look at each individual situation.
Right, and we assess it. Right, we assess it and figure out what is their best option.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing, and of course, lots more information online and in your offices. So OntarioDebtAdvisors.ca. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks, Ryan. All right, quick break, and we got to pay some bills, but we're back with the news at 8 o'clock in a couple of minutes.